All right, welcome back to another episode, my fellow naturalists. We were meant to be going to Carnarvon Gorge, but unfortunately it was on fire and we couldn't get access. So we had to take a bit of a detour through the countryside to go to another spot that we've been well recommended by friends. So on the way, we found this beautiful Penoptes here, put on quite the show for us, and a few other little treats, and we ended up staying a long way before heading down to this property, which you'll see shortly.
Beautiful, aren't you, mate? Who's a special big boy? Who's a special big boy? Look at that! Penoptes at his finest. Oh, these bad, terrible Penoptes. Alright, Nature Knows, we're out in central Queensland and we're actually not too far from Longreach. We're heading out there shortly and we're just going down this little country lane and we've discovered this absolutely stunning little northern spiny tail gecko. Oh man, we'll obviously show you the stills and everything, but the detail on this animal is just astonishing. I love her to pieces. She differs quite a lot from the eastern spiny tail that we're more accustomed to seeing because the denticles on the tail are far more pronounced. They're sharper, and to support those is a row across the eyebrow, and they just look amazing. I can't wait to take stills of this animal. Brilliant. As you can see, she's cleaning her eyes now, and yeah, this is the northern spiny tail gecko. I'm really excited. This is a new one for me, actually.
So it turns out, since filming this sequence, that we've got an updated volume of the reptile field guide that we have, and it turns out that this is not the northern spiny tail, but as you can see from the title here, the Kristens. So super happy to have got her.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Brother Nature.
Today we are in Numba Station. Come and join us to see what we can find. Woohoo!
Alright, morning Nature Nutters. So we came down to the causeway to see what the floodwater was doing, and we had this guy sort of just going down the edge of the culvert heading towards the creek. Now this is Pseudonaja textalis, or better known as the eastern brown snake. He's distributed across the eastern seaboard, which means that he encounters the mass of the Australian population. This snake gets a bit of an unfair reputation as being aggressive. Now, it's easily perceived to be aggressive because they are a very nervous snake. They have a tendency to let you know very quickly that they're upset. They'll lunge with their mouth open and it looks very aggressive, but it's a warning. Just stay away, leave me alone. I don't want to deal with you. I just want to go about my business. So this snake, I'll just try and put the brakes on him. Yes, it is the third most toxic snake on Earth. And like I was saying, because they live where the mass of the Australian population does, unfortunately this snake has a tendency to get into people's sheds, out onto their balconies and patios, because they come into our homes and our public places looking for the vermin that our rubbish attracts. So we encounter one another quite frequently. And that's when incidences occur, because there's so much fear regarding this snake that people try and kill it at first sight. Right, so one other point I wanted to make regarding this snake is that yes, it's nervous, yes, it's highly toxic. The reason it needs to be toxic is that it lives out in this landscape where food is few and far between. It cannot afford to have the one mouse that it encounters maybe every couple of months, or you can see he's getting a bit peeved off. Now hopefully he'll just settle here a little bit. No. So he cannot afford to have that prey get away. So he needs to deliver a massive amount of very toxic poison, or venom I should say, to bring that mouse dead in front of him immediately for him to consume. He can't afford to have that mouse run away out into the wild and escape. So that's the reason they're so venomous. But imagine, put yourself in his shoes. Right now, he's got people stomping around, you know, interfering with his business, where he just wants to go about his life, and he's got the danger and he feels threatened by us. So if we just walk away and leave him, he will just go about his business. He does not want to be interacting with us. So it's when people start to try and interfere with these snakes that problems occur. All right, so the point I was trying to make with the venom is that not only can he not afford to have his prey get away in this big wide open expanse, but that venom is highly valuable. It's precious to him. He doesn't have an infinite supply. He doesn't even have a particularly large supply. He cannot afford to waste it. And very often these snakes, when they do bite people, will give a dry bite warning first. Like right now he's warning me, all right, I'm sick of you interfering with my life. You need to nick off, Brother Nature. I'm getting annoyed. You can see he's lunging at me with his mouth open. Lots of warning talk. As you can see, the moment I leave him alone, he just goes about his business. The moment I try and use the hook to interfere with him, that's when he starts to get annoyed. So we Australians, and generally speaking people around the world, need to learn to just coexist and live with snakes and leave them alone. When we leave them alone, they just go about their lives like we go about ours. So, another beautiful Australian species, the eastern brown snake. By gosh, we're lucky out here at Noomba. We love it. Look at that guy. Evening nature nutters. Night one here at Noomba Station, and we've climbed up one of the sandstone plateaus to get a bit of a feel for our surroundings. We're out in the Channel Country. It's a really beautiful place. Up on this sandstone escarpment, first find of the evening, this beautiful little asper. Absolute stunning specimen. I know I say that all the time, but he's got this lovely little black nape and a really great network pattern on his head. So we'll show you the stills.
Let's see if he moves or... Aww, that's cute.
Hey nature nutters, find number 2 for the evening. A little biter he is, feisty little bugger. But this is Diplodactylus immaculatus, a species I've been wanting to see now. I was hoping we'd find it out here because we're right on the edge of its distribution, and yeah, he's a stunner.
As you can see, this little guy found this grasshopper that had been a bit of a casualty of us moving around. Well, he took full advantage and snaveled it up, and you'll see he has a bit of difficulty trying to get the sand that was stuck to its backside. However, it does provide us with some entertaining footage. Watch him trying to get this gravel out of his mouth whilst he swallows this thing. It does prove to be quite interesting.
Welcome back, gang, to Noomba Station. Find number 3 for the evening, this little Diplodactylus tessellatus. Another find that I'm really happy about getting. Yet again, one in the book that I've had earmarked for a while now, and we've only just driven down the road and got it, so super excited.
Alright, as we move around, we obviously kick up dust, which quickly adheres to their eyes, and they then proceed to lick it off, which makes this nice bit of footage. And this was a species that we found was highly variable across the landscape. Its habitat definitely defined how it looked.
Welcome back, Nature Nutters. We're here at Noonbar Station, and on this beautiful segment of the property we're out in the Gibber Stone Country in amongst the mulga here, and we're on a special little mission to find an absolutely stunning little dragon I want to see since I was a little boy. Now look at this stuff. This is the Gibber Pebbles, and this little dragon that we're looking for is perfectly camouflaged in amongst this. So as we move across this landscape, we're going to hope that we flush one. But what they have a tendency to do is just squat down into this, these stones and literally pretend to be a stone. And they look like stones. So we've got a mission ahead of us. So how's about we go see if we can have some luck? I'd love your help. Let's go. All right, didn't take long, Nature Nutters, but look what we've got here. This is the beautiful little Tympanocryptis intima. Now, I know you can't see anything from there because he's hidden behind these two pebbles here, but this is exactly what I was talking about. I'm going to be very delicate because I don't want him to bolt away, but have a look at that little dragon. This guy is just perfectly camouflaged. As I approached it, he was actually perched, sunning on one of these pebbles, stood on his two back legs, kind of like a dog begging for food. Look at him. Oh, look at that. Oh my God.
I came and say hello to them.
Yeah. Look at this, I love it. I'm gonna bring him around. It's cooled down today. Last couple of days it's been up in the mid to low 40s, and it's been scorching weather to be out here. Though these guys seem to love it. I might actually say I'm in pain right now laying on these pebbles. No doubt Mariella is. Yep, it is really, really hot on the ground here, and these guys just thrive on it.
Now this next photo demonstrates how 9 times out of 10 you'll find them just squat down. They've seen you long way before you see them.
Well, Nature Nutters, we've been driving around for a week now, actually even longer, looking for this very monitor. Now I'm heading into Longreach, which is about 160 k's away, to get some new tyres and a car service, and I've left Mariella at home with all the camera equipment with the exception of my GoPro. And lo and behold, I get Spencer's monitor on the side of the road and I can't take photos. It's Murphy's Law sometimes looking for reptiles. This is pretty frustrating. I'm gutted I don't have my camera right now, but at the same time I'm really happy that I can tip off another species. But let's go take a closer look at this beautiful animal. Good morning, beautiful man. Can I get some sun on you, please? Yeah, turn around and give Brother Nature some sunshine. You been battling, mate? You been having a bit of a fight? You look a bit thirsty too. Who's a scabby old monitor? Look at all that spare scabby skin. You got a paralysis tick, so how's about we get that off you, mate? Yeah? Can you let me catch you? One less paralysis tick. He's got a pretty impressive wound on his shoulder here. Oh, absolutely covered in ticks underneath. Pretty brutal scar on the shoulder here. A couple more. This dragon's really been in a fight. Big scratches across the back. This dragon's been living a tough life, guys. Oh my god, absolutely covered in ticks. I'm gonna stop here and go do a bit of tick removal, and then we'll set him on his way. All right, catch you later, Nature Nutters. Spencer's Monitor, woohoo! Morning, Nature Nutters, back here again with this beautiful Spencer's Monitor. Now, I did happen to bag this one overnight because my concern for her was she's a bit beat up and she is absolutely covered in ticks at the moment. So we are going to do her a little favour and sit here for a moment and get rid of numerous paralysis ticks you can see across her neck there. And she's got a whole heap of cattle ticks buried into her chest there. And she is a little bit on the dehydrated side. We're a bit after the mating season, and you can see she's had a little bit of trauma from one of her boyfriends. So she's in a bit of a state, but we'll get her tidied up and back into the bush. We'll do a count. There's number 1 paralysis. Yeah. 2.
I might go and get a vial for them.
3.
Just leave them there for now, but I'll grab a vial and...
5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. It's okay. Brother Nature's trying to help you. 11. 12. Alright, let's start the chest. 1. She's being a good girl.
How many have you counted already? 20?
I've stopped counting, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. You hand it. Oh, get your foot off it. If you hand it up, you can just stick them straight into it.
Got a bit of free sand.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go through it now. You're right, matey.
Very interesting little pattern on the back end of those ones. So I reckon I'm taking about 20 off just here, eh?
Quite a few. Mate. Oh, there's a heap up in there.
Buried up in the clay.
Yeah. It's okay, buddy.
You're gonna be so much better. Just say thank you, guys.
She said it's a bit personal.
Oh.
Tick fell out. Big one on my finger.
Not the best job to do with a couple of coffees in your hair, trying to pick ticks off. So it turned out there was 68 in the vial, and that's not counting the ones I squashed and I dropped, and there were several in the tympanum that we just couldn't afford to go for. Oh. All right, welcome back, Nature Nutters. As you've seen by now, we did the de-ticking session with this beautiful girl. So it's time to release her back into her habitat. Now, unfortunately, it's not the most ideal time of the day to release her. It's 11 o'clock, it's getting a bit warm. But she's got the shade of these acacias down here by the pond, and there's a few other structures around, so she'll find her way. And obviously, being a monitor, she can handle these midday temperatures just fine anyway. But really happy to see her back in the wild safely without all those blasted ticks. And so now we will just let her quietly go on her way. See you later, girl. Thanks for some fun. Evening, nature nutters. We've headed out for our last night at Noongar Station. It's been hot and steamy today, and it has brought this lovely little python out. Another Stimson's, soon to be back to children's python, but just a nice little young juvenile making his way through the vegetation here looking for a feed. We'll get some quick stills and leave him be. All right, we're on fire this evening, nature nutters. We've merely driven down the road 2 minutes, and here's this beautiful little narrow banded shovel nose. Now, this is a species I've wanted to see, and it's quite a unique little snake. Beautiful little snout. They've evolved a very narrow face for going through this sandy country, through the leaf litter. They're highly specialised, they feed on reptile eggs. It's been raining heavily and the ground's quite compact, but if it were loose sand, he would literally just disappear underneath the sand right in front of us. But this is a bit of a trophy species. These aren't the easiest guys to find. So really happy to see the narrow banded shovel nose.
Well, nature nutters, that brings us to the end of another episode, and we just want to take this opportunity to thank Emmets for hosting us in what can only be described as a true oasis in the outback of Queensland, good old Noongar Station. Now, we'll leave you with the last of our finds from Noongar, although there was so much that didn't make the final cut. We had fishing for yabbies that were spoiled by floodwaters, and recovering a mate stuck on the wrong side of the river with no alternative but to cross in his little car. Now, of course, I'd recommend that you'd come and stay at Noongar, but unfortunately the property has just sold. The Emmets are retiring and it's time for them to move on. But thankfully it's remaining within family hands, therefore it shall remain protected as a sanctuary for all those amazing critters that it holds.
Alright, beautiful people, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the notification icon and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.